Um, I hadn't seen the stats. Unbelievable. If you take Bruce Ellington off our team, you'd probably have the 12 leading candidates for the starring roles in the walking of the what was that name of that movie? The Return of the Living Dead, whatever that movie was called, the zombie movie. Yeah. Yeah, if you took Bruce off our team, our guys would probably win an Academy for their performance in that movie. It's I've been doing this for 28 years, 9 of which was a junior varsity high school coach. That means I dealt with 14-year-olds. I've never been more embarrassed to call myself a basketball coach than I am today.
Frank, through the early part of the SEC season, you guys weren't getting the wins, but you were fighting hard the whole time. What has changed in the effort department? It just seems like it hasn't been there the past 5 games.
Don't know what to tell you. Same players, same coach, same team. Ever since the Florida game, we've been fighting a losing battle because the desire to play is not there, and I've always taken pride to get guys to do what I ask them to do, and right now that's not happening, and they didn't bring me here to create a bigger problem. They brought me here to fix a problem, and I'm not doing a very good job of that right now.
Frank, since this is such an unfamiliar situation for you, you've always sort of been able to get guys to sort of play with that fire. Where do you go from here? What's sort of your next step in trying to get these guys to maximize the remaining games they have?
If this was in the NBA, we'd fine them, we'd take their money, we'd release them, and say good luck ever finding another job. It's not the NBA. So we're in education. So somehow, some way, we have to reach them. But it's embarrassing. I'm just telling you. I've been telling our team here for 3 weeks that there's a word that if it's not in your vocabulary, whatever it is you choose to do in life, I don't care what your walk of life is. If the word pride is not in your vocabulary, you got no chance at ever sniffing success. And I'm a lot of things, but I've got pride. And I'm just telling you, I'm doing this right now out of respect to you and your jobs and because it's part of my job. But I've never been so embarrassed. I shouldn't coach basketball ever again if this is how my team plays.
Coach, when was the last time you had one player to destroy a team that you coached, like O'Brien did tonight?
Jody Meeks, I don't know if you remember him. He scored 38 against us. We lost by 2, fought like heck. We fought to the wire, and he couldn't miss, and we tried, and he went for 38. And when that game was over, I was mad because we lost, but I was proud of my guys. In that game, I said, that guy is real good. That was in December of Jacob Pullen's sophomore year, so whatever year that was. December of 08, maybe. About 3 weeks later, first game of the SEC season, he had 54 against Tennessee. So I kind of felt a little better. I felt better about my team, that we fought as hard as we did and didn't quite win, but we held them to 38. It's give Johnny O'Brien credit now. He wasn't, when we played at their place, he wasn't very good. He obviously's got pride in his vocabulary, and he made sure he remembered that when he played today.
Offensively, Frank, I know defense for you is a lot of effort, and you want to see more of that pride from these guys. But in terms of offensive execution, with what you're asking these guys to do, I mean, 28%, what can you sort of do to try to rectify that? I mean, was it just tonight a matter of missed shots? Were they making bad decisions? Was the spacing not there?
I thought we shot good shots. We lead the country in air ball layups. You know, so guys can't make layups. It's hard to win. You know, open threes. You got guys who are supposed to make open threes, and they never make an open three. It's hard to do. So you got to invest yourself to be good. You've heard me say this before. In life, you get what you deserve. If you don't put in the time, that ball ain't gonna go in the basket for you. And we got guys that don't comprehend that. You know, they put in the time when I make them put in the time. They don't put in the time for the love of the game. And until that doesn't change, it ain't gonna get any better.
Coach, how can you get things to try to go in the right direction with only a day really to get this team prepped and ready for a game on Saturday? Really not enough time really to get this team, you think, focused after a game like this?
If I had Jacob Pullen, Rodney Magruder, Denny Clemente, Brent Wright, Sylvan Robinson, Udonis Haslam, Steve Blake, Jose Besu, Jamel Martinez, Alan Edwards, Steve Edwards, Doug Edwards, I don't know. Any of those guys, some of which you might have heard of, some of which you've probably never heard about your life. If I had any of them on my team, then I had a guy I could trust on my team. So we'd be all right tomorrow. But then again, I can tell you, we wouldn't have played the way we played today. You know, our lack of leadership is frustrating. And I'm not trying to Bruce makes 1,000,001 mistakes, but I'm just telling you, without him, my assistant coach who had the scout before the game, Matt Fager, before the game came over to me, he said, I don't like what's happening right now. Just before we walked out for the game, I said, why? He said, the locker room's a morgue. And that's exactly what it was. It's just, if you got no life for what you do, then you shouldn't do it. If you got no passion for what you do, then you shouldn't do it. And right now, we're passionless and we're lifeless. And if we somehow don't find the resolve to try and refocus our energies into the good things, then Saturday won't be a good day either. It's, you know, you control who you are every day in your life. And if you walk around with your shoulders down and your head down, then you got no chance at whatever it is you try to do. You know, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's been, you know, for the last 3 weeks, it's been real frustrating. And but it's like I said earlier, you can't expect 18 and 19-year-olds to figure those things out. You know, us guys have been around. It's our jobs to help them through the moment.
Based on what you're saying, do you think you've lost these guys?
If I've lost them, then they better disappear. Because it's going to be hard for them to be here next year if I lost them 10 months into the job. You know, it's you got to ask them that question, Phil. I haven't lost Bruce, I tell you that. I haven't lost Michael Carrera, even though he's a freshman and he runs around like a chicken with his head cut off half the time and don't know what's happening. You know, but outside of those two guys, if I have lost them, then they better figure out where home is at, because obviously it's not going to be here.
Coach, the shooting percentage continues to be low at this stage of the season. Is that a major headache for you? I'm sure it is.
The shooting percentage, you got to, for the ball to go in the basket, you got to have a little courage, and you got to work at it. And right now we're short on courage, and we got guys that don't understand how to put in extra time. And that, I'm going to give you a quick story. We played at Texas Tech, and I had a young man on my team named Michael Beasley. And he's averaging on the year 24 and 14, okay? We play at Texas Tech. We lose by 5 or something like that, and he's a freshman. He scores 20, 21 or something. Well, that game was in Lubbock, Texas. Started at 9 p.m. because it was an ESPN2 middle-of-the-week game, whatever. So We get on the plane. We land at 1:30 in the morning. The airport to our gym, where everyone's car was at, maybe a 10-minute drive. He got off the bus, went into the arena, and shot 500 balls at 2 o'clock in the morning. Some of our guys need, and he is a real good player. Not an average player, a real good player. He didn't do that because I asked him to. Did that because he knew he didn't play well that day. You know, that's what it's about. In life, you get what you deserve. So, you know, he put in the time. He earned the right to average whatever the heck he averaged for his career. I know this. I never had to worry about him not being ready to play. I never had to worry about him not doing what I asked him to do. Funny how that works. And he's a real good player. Funny how that works.